morning, guys. This is Kenzo Xtrahot Forex. So let's go straight to our daily analysis. I want to make this video very quick. I think we left with 10 minutes. They say the power, there's load shading actually. So they say the power is going to go off at around 10 o'clock. So I'm left with 10 minutes. So I will try to make it very quick so that we can understand what's really happening. As long as I did the update, is much better. So let's see what it's really happening. I will start with 4-hour time frame. I will just start with NASDAQ 100. So on NASDAQ 100, guys, I think everything is still straightforward. We are still on that sell-off. Remember, there's some companies are pulling out of Russia, like Apple, I don't know even if Microsoft, and the other ones. And if that is going to be like happening, we're going to see the market going lower and lower. Why? Because remember, if maybe the sales, maybe for Microsoft or maybe Apple, maybe they were making 2%, let's say for example, making 2% only in Russia, it means this is no longer going to be there, you see. So which means now we're going to have, the value is going to go down, obviously. The value is going to go down, and we see this when it's happening on oil. So it means we can still expect the market to push a little bit lower. We can expect the market is going to go lower, obviously. So even if the market is trying to hold, you can see that the market is trying like not to push a little bit lower, because yesterday we were here and we can see that the market is respecting this area. But don't think that the market is going to hold up. I don't think this support is going to hold up longer. I think the market is still going to break that. Those news are very bad. You should also check that, guys, because when they say this company is pulling out of Russia, remember we trade NASDAQ, and NASDAQ, it's those bunch of 100 companies. Check those companies and you will understand why we see the market pushing lower. And the inflation is also high. Oil is very high, and you know when oil, let's say diesel or petrol, when it's very high, prices, they're going to go up. All those things that we do, actually, they're just going to get expensive. So I'm expecting even these companies to suffer a little bit. And when they suffer, we're going to see the market pushing lower. But there is possibility that the market can still push up a little bit and reach this area before we see another push going lower. At the moment, remember, we are still on bearish momentum. Simple as that. So let's move to the next one, which is US30. I hope the market doesn't, I hope the power doesn't go off, electricity doesn't go off, but they just told me there's load shedding around 9 o'clock. So we are on US30, guys. On US30, we can still see that similar thing is happening on US30. US30 is also going to suffer whatever that is going on here. So now we have an area here. We have an area as our support area, and this is a sort of a resistant area. So what might happen is we might see the market pushing up and reaching these areas around 34,000. And again, since the market is still on bearish momentum, we might see the market pushing lower. Or maybe we can say, let's sell again if the market is going to break this area, let's sell again below this area, let's say 32,000, or before that. If the market retests, we can just say, you know what, it's our time to sell, because there is an area where we can call it maybe something like this. You can see that the market is seriously respecting that. I also saw that on NASDAQ yesterday, but unfortunately we did make some nice profit. I wasn't going to send another signal by that time. I don't really send like multiple signals for one thing. As long as we make profit, we can take another different pair, because sometimes if you just play around with one thing, you end up losing. So there's possibility that the market might not reach this area. Then the market might respect this resistance and respect this area and push lower, respect this area and push lower, respect this area and push lower. Why? Because we are still on that bearish momentum, and the war, Russian invasion is still active, you see. So that's why we're still going to see that. Or maybe you can draw this from back here and say, I'm trying to make this thing fast. You can write this thing, you can draw something like that, and say, you know what, maybe you can just focus on something like this and say maybe the market is going to come there, respect there, and move into the lower side. Yes, we will see what happens if the market tries to push to the upside, because there are so many things happening in the market, but we just need to keep up with the market, and at the same time you just need to do the right analysis so that we don't lose, right? Because the aim is to make money. So let's check what's really happening on oil. This thing's is way too fast, guys. So I see it's gold. It's gold here. So gold is also reacting similar way to US oil. It's also pushing to the upside. But let's just push to US oil and see what's really happening. Let's go. I hope the power doesn't go. I don't know how many minutes do I left with. Okay, now we are on US oil. We did kill it here a day before, yesterday, or maybe if they were still holding. So what's really happening here is the market at the moment is way too high, but we have an area that we can say maybe the market is creating what? A resistance. So now the market might respect this area and push to the lower side before pushing up again, or maybe the market might just break that area and push to the upside. Why? Because the market is still bullish on US oil. Let me see how many minutes I left with. Okay, I'm very fast. I think I'm still left with 4 minutes. So I think maybe I can just keep talking a little bit so that you can understand much better. But I think on US30 and NASDAQ, maybe you did understand that nicely. I hope you did, guys. So what's really happening here is Russia is still invading Ukraine, and there is so much stuff that is going on. The sanctions, they are all like still like loading on giving like overweighting on US oil, and yes, on US oil, and or actually Russia. So those sanctions I had yesterday, President of the United States, he said that they banning oil from Russia. So, but I don't know if maybe UK and other European countries, they will also do the same thing, because I think they say Russian oil, I think, is 40% of all the European countries, which is way too much. And if they ban that, if they put sanction on that, it means we're going to see the market pushing to the higher side, right? We're going to see US oil going crazy high. So that's why I'm advising all the people who trade gold or US oil to say, you know what, the market is actually doing what? The market is actually pushing to the upside. What you can do is wait for a small rejection before you can buy. But around this area, I think there is possibility that the market might break this area and push to the upside. Why? Because at least we have this small rejection. You can see even here we had a small rejection before that happening. So it means the market might create something like this. You see the market is creating something like this, push up, create something like this, push up, create something like that, push up. I hope you see what I'm trying to show you here. So this is quite similar to what it's really happening on let's say on gold. I'm trying to follow gold. Where's gold? You can see if you here even on gold. So the rejections are very limited here. You can see we only had this type of rejection there. Then the market pushed up. So what do we expect at the moment? We also expect the market, maybe the market might reach this area before we do what? Before we buy again. So please remember, don't sell these things, guys. Maybe you can just scalp them, but I don't advise anyone to sell this thing, because you're going to pay the price. If you do that, you just going to pay the price, and the price is not really good. The price is not going to be very it's going to be like, it's going to be tough, because the market will just slide against you. The market will just slide against you, and which is something that we don't want. We need you to make money. So expect a small rejection before you do what? You buy. But unfortunately, the market doesn't create that perfect move, so we won't really know where the market is going to turn, right? So let's check the time. I hope I'm left with 1 minute, guys. Thank you, guys. Let me just try to finish the video, then I will just send you to you as quick as possible, because they say the power is going now in few minutes, obviously, I mean in few seconds. Let me just stop the video before then I can able to send you the video as quick as possible. Thank you.